protecting yourself can be difficult. Fortunately, there's a hotline you can call with any questions. The Department of Indian Work St. Paul partnered with the Minnesota Department of Health to open the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline. They provide information on vaccines, booster shots, and testing sites. Right now, booster shots are available to anyone over the age of 18 for those who are eligible. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline can also help with housing, food, medical, and educational support. If you or someone you know has questions about COVID-19, vaccinations, booster shots, or testing, please call 651-304-9986. Again, the number is 651-304-9986. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline is open for calls Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline at 651-304-9986.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States, and 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected. Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf. Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy. As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired. Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
Hey, Olgama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
Don't let COVID-19 spoil the fun for you or your family, so get a vaccine or booster. COVID-19 vaccines are safe, effective, free for everyone, and are now available for anyone over the age of 5. Booster shots are also recommended for everyone 12 and older if it's been more than 5 months since your previous vaccination. To get more tips, schedule your vaccine, or get tested, visit ramseycounty.us/COVID vaccine. That's ramseycounty.us/COVID vaccine.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for rain tonight with a low around 33, Thursday more rain with a high near 40, and Friday cloudy with a high around 41.
At Warner Stallion, we thought it was about time you got paid. Now through May 3rd, we'll pay you $50 for each qualifying appliance you buy during our Stallion Stimulus Sale. Save up to $1,000 on laundry repairs ready for fast free delivery. Buy now at warnerstallion.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous. Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with me.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade.
Hey, Kaidagi to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio Presents
I'm Awake.
And I am your host,
Robert Pilot, and we discuss local and national Native news and events. And as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. And this portion is brought to you by our Native Roots Trading Post in downtown Minneapolis. Come on down there and support Native artists all over Turtle Island, and we really have appreciated your support in this last year. Also want to give a special shout out to my wife Wendy. Wendy, as you know, has COVID, and she's on the mend. We'll be having her on soon, and I talked to her just a little while ago, and she's feeling a little better, but we miss her on the show, and I miss her dearly here at home. And I need help. Somebody's got to come and help me clean the house before she gets home. But before I get into any further talking here, I want to get with Gina Peltier, and Gina's with Honor the Earth, and Gina's been sitting in a good way for Ogama, who's out on maternity leave. And she's got a beautiful little baby girl now. She has 2 girls, and we miss her dearly too. But we really appreciate the good vibes and the good work that Gina has done for us here in all view all over Turtle Island. So welcome, Gina, and thank you so much for being on.
Hey, bonjour, Gina Peltier, Indigenous excuse me, guys. Makadewa, Makwa, Dudim, Inishinabe, Indunjaba, Mikanakawaji, Inijiwag. Gina Peltier here. I am the Black Bear in the Black Bear Clan, and I am from the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa. And I really loved tuning in and listening to Ogama give the news, and I'm just glad that I'm able to come and help, and I hope Ogama really takes her time and enjoys her time with her baby. But I'm really excited for her to come back because I really miss hearing her. So with that said, Ogama, I love you, miss you, take your time. Enjoy it.
But also too, what's really cool and funny is that you've been a really good guest over the last couple of years, or last year and a half or so, and so it's going to be a hard transition to have you as a guest again. But wow, you've been doing great. So I don't want to cut into any more of the news because we want to really amplify what's going out there.
Yeah. So the U.S. actually wants to boost water supplies hit by climate change. The Interior announced that $420 million will be spent on projects in New Mexico, Minnesota, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Iowa. Federal officials slated millions of dollars for rural water projects in several states, with the Biden administration looking to shore up infrastructure needs made more urgent by long-term drought conditions that have been inflamed by climate change. The work includes construction of water treatment plants, pipeline connections, pump systems, and reservoirs to provide drinking water to rural and tribal communities. We are experiencing more than a 20-year mega drought, and scientists say that the region has become much more warmer and drier in recent decades. Climate change will continue to make weather more extreme, wildfires more frequent, and destructive, and water supplies less reliable. On the Navajo Nation, tens of thousands of people still live without running water, while tribes in the upper Midwest are awaiting pipeline extensions that would tap into reliable sources. Tribes that are finally seeing federal money after years of being underfunded are working to get at water they long had rights to, but could not access without funds to build the infrastructure. It's nice to see the department is starting to be committed to bringing clean, reliable drinking water to rural communities to help strengthen resilience to climate change. But this is a step in the right direction, but there's so much more we need to do to combat negative climate change. Like in Wisconsin, the Board of Trustees for Marquette University, a private Jesuit research university in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, has voted to prohibit any of its $929 million endowment from being invested directly in public companies conducting oil and natural gas exploration or extraction. The announcement comes nearly years after a student referendum called on the university to divest from fossil fuels. A press release issued Thursday said the university doesn't currently have any such direct investments in fossil fuels. It said officials with the endowment will monitor investments and phase out any that are indirectly related to oil and gas companies. Here's to hopes that many more businesses will start cutting out fossil fuels and start investing in the new green revolution, like hemp. We all need hemp.
That's right.
And then a story that we have been following all week. Camp McGeezy Will Fly is in Washington, D.C. at a 2-week-long event being held by Declare Emergency, a nonviolent civil resistance campaign, where red actions will be held every other day, demanding President Biden declare a climate emergency. Today, there were 7 arrests when protesters chained themselves to the White House gates. To learn more, visit Camp McGeezy Will Fly Facebook page, and may the force be with them as they're facing and demanding Biden declare climate emergency. And then finally, this Sunday, April 10th at 1 p.m. at the Boundary in Stillwater, Minnesota, there will be a benefit event with live music to support the Line 3 Legal Defense Fund. At this moment, there are 587 known water protector cases currently open and moving through the court systems relating to Enbridge's toxic tar sands oil pipeline defendants and are facing absurd charges and still need support. These water protectors risk their lives and their freedom in defense of everyone's clean water. Find out more or to donate, go to line3legalfund.com/donate. Again, that was line3legalfund.com/donate. And thank you so much, water protectors, for your continued fight and sacrifices. So what do you think about all that, Robert?
Yeah, that's awesome. And I can't wait for Sunday. I love the city of Stillwater, but we also got to remember that Michelle Bachman was from there too. So we got to be careful when we're in that border town of Wisconsin and Minnesota. And, but I'm excited and to go down there and check out the concert for sure and the fundraising. And it's good to get out. I'll be masked up as always. And again, want to send out a special prayer to Wendy. Really miss her. But what else you got there? We got a minute left, and if you don't have anything else, what I wanted to just talk about real quick is we got our guest today, State Senator Jeff Smith, who is a water protector in Wisconsin, and I always enjoy talking to him and having him on. And there's a lot of people that say that they're progressive and they're really not. And I feel like Jeff is really progressive. And I think that term's thrown around too much. And so I'm excited. And then also we're going to have Robert Blake on like we do every Wednesday with the Solar Bear, with the Solar News, and get those updates, Gina, that we need, to see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel and it's not an oncoming train.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about the Line 5 battle that the senator must be involved in Wisconsin. So I can't wait to hear about that.
Yeah, definitely. And just a real quick thing, Tracy's asking for just more info on the Stillwater concert. You want to just run that by while we're checking out here?
Yeah, most definitely. So again, let me just pull it up here. I know there's going to be live music at Stillwater. I'm just gonna.
It's a coffee shop right on Main Street, right?
Yeah. So April 10th at 1 p.m. and it is a benefit with live music. So and just go to. I think there is a Facebook page invites. I'll post that in the comments actually.
Right on. And we love Tracy. I don't want to say people's last name, but Tracy, good to see you listening in. Prayers to you, and I guess go Vikings, right, Tracy? Tracy's a big Vikings fan. I know that. Hey, we'll be right back with State Senator of Wisconsin, Jeff Smith. I'm excited. We'll be right back.
J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
Unwanted sexting or photos, inappropriate jokes, even tickling or wrestling can feel like a violation. Catcalling, cornering, or groping, getting them drunk or high for sex, recording sexual acts without permission, hurting someone because of their sexual orientation, raping a family member, a child, a date, a friend, a stranger, purchasing a human being for sex. You make the choice every single time. Sexual violence is many things. Make a choice. Do not do it.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, Olgama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
Life is a journey, and the Doherty Family College will help you get where you want to go. Located downtown Minneapolis, this affordable 2-year college provides free textbooks, a laptop, meals, career coaches, one-on-one mentorship, and a Metro Transit pass, making DFC the perfect pathway to a bachelor's degree. Turn your dreams into reality. Connect with a counselor today at dfc.stthomas.edu.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. This portion is brought to you by MN350, a grassroots organization fighting for climate justice. Hey, it's great. We get to talk to a state senator of the great state, Wisconsin, Jeff Smith, about we always just like having conversations here on Native Roots Radio. And I got to tell you, State Senator, I'm missing Wendy dearly. She's stuck in New York because she has COVID, and I know she always enjoys our conversation too. And she's listening. She's posted a couple things up here, but she's just a little weak and laying in bed and can't get out of our condo. And it's just it's not a good thing. I wish she was here, but then again, I don't want to catch COVID. So there's a double-edged sword. And but welcome, State Senator.
Well, we do miss Wendy. Wendy, get well soon. Get over that. This is that's serious stuff. So. And it's my pleasure to be here. It is my pleasure to be here. I was just listening to Gina here, and wow, what great stuff is going on, right? And I know that it's important to the last thing you were saying about getting a declaration from President Biden. But up to this point, we have definitely seen what a difference it makes. And elections have consequences, right? We would never have gotten the things that are going on right now when we had the previous president that was in power. So that's great. Now in Wisconsin, in response to your line 5, I got to say there's nothing to report except that we in Wisconsin are so reliant on our Native American neighbors to be sure that we stop such terrible things. And I just got to say one thing. There's a commercial being run, an ad for a current U.S. senator in Wisconsin who makes a comment about how Democrats have declared war on fossil fuels like it's a bad thing. So I just love that commercial. I'm thinking, thank you. Yes, thank you.
We never needed fossil fuels to begin with. Like I always say, Henry Ford's first automobiles ran off of hemp, and the whole body was made out of hemp steel, which is 1,000 times stronger than the steel they're using now. So it's just.
And they were big into electric cars, but it was too expensive, and they went with the cheap models, and that's what we got.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be that way, does it?
No.
I'm pretty excited though. So are you going to be running again then? Is that what's going on?
I am.
Yeah.
I am. That's not necessarily, I've been coming on here for a while, right, Robert? And I just really look forward to this. And I know sometimes it doesn't work in the schedule, but this is good time for me. But yes, I am on the ballot in November, and we're beginning to gear up for that.
So is it easier as you keep running, or is it more difficult for you?
I've been doing this for a while. History, you don't want to hear my whole history, but this is my first term as a senator. I had an 8-year gap in between, but I've had a lot of experience helping others as well as my own campaigns. So it does get much easier. And I actually enjoy mentoring other candidates because we need the next generation. And it's so easy for a candidate to come in with a lot of energy and then find out it's not what they expected and to be burned out. And then we lose these really good people after one run. And I wish we had like a training school and a period of time for them to really get in the right place at the right time to run, because there's a lot of great people out there.
Oh, for sure. Do you have any good advice for people who do want to run, but they're really intimidated and scared?
The most important thing people can do when they run for office is to knock on doors. There's nothing that can replace that. and a lot of people are intimidated by that, especially now when things are so divisive. But the truth is, we're almost always polite at doors, accepting, and are actually pleasantly gracious about someone coming to their door. They think it's a great thing. It's a winner.
I'm sure you've got some good stories though of knocking on people's doors.
Yeah, one year I might do that again this year, but one year I did keep a daily diary just on that. It's been a long time. I should look back at that.
Well, I didn't realize you guys couldn't hear me. So sorry about that. Thank you, Gina. My mouth was moving and nothing was happening there. But one of the things too, Senator Jeff, is that I found out in my other job, as you know, I have another job. I don't like to really talk about it too much on the show here, but is broadband is a huge issue, and it's also an issue that's really reared its ugly head here with everyone trying to do what we're doing, and our students and everyone like that.
You're right, Robert. And I think we've had this conversation before, or at least somewhere along the line, I drop this all the time, that this is a high priority of mine in my office and has been from the beginning because of the rural aspect of my district and of Wisconsin and overall. And we have a long ways to go. But as someone said to me just last week at a conference I was speaking at for Wisconsin Telecoms, no one is connected until everyone is connected. And that is just so true. And I am basically adopting that as my bumper sticker, I think.
That's an awesome one, really. There's a lot of things, and I know what would really change the economy. And again, I really love talking to you, and is that I feel like you're a true progressive, and I don't mean to like really, make it seem that people aren't or whatever, but I think what would really change our economy across this country is to help our students with their debt, with their student debt. I mean, I know people that have student debt like where they could have two houses if they didn't have this big debt. What's your thoughts on that?
I agree. As a matter of fact, let's face it, corporate America has, in every aspect of our lives, controlled our lives. And one of them is through banks and lending. So there's a lot of the world who have already figured out and surpassed us when it came to public education. We were really the ones who created the idea of everyone deserves a good education, K through 12, and it really made great advancements in this country. But the rest of the world not only adopted that, but they've gone way beyond us, and they are offering tuition-free education beyond K-12, and we're just again caught with the fact that corporate America is making a lot off of this student debt, and there's no way that we can seem to get past that, but we can with some courage and backbone of legislators that say, you know what, we're going to wipe that out, and then move into the next century of offering 2 to 4 years beyond K-12 of tuition-free education. Because you know what's amazing is whether it's the University of Minnesota or the University of Wisconsin, we call them public universities, but people pay tuition. It's kind of odd that we still call them public institutions.
Well, I'm an old person, and I remember I graduated in 1979, and I'm 60, almost 61, and I remember paying for college as a part-time job during the summer, paying for college for the most part.
Yeah.
And if I was a millennial or anybody younger, I would be very, very upset with the way things are now in that regards.
Yeah, we're the same generation. Well, you're slightly younger than me, but that was true. It was a given that you could work during the summer and have all you needed saved up to get through the next school year, and it was fine. But that's not the case anymore.
No, and it's not. And again, I would be upset, I think, if a lot of this truth came out to younger people. That would be a great rallying cry. And also, technical college was free back in the day, too.
Yeah. And so think about, you already mentioned that about housing. We have a housing issue in this country, and it's all tied together, isn't it? It's all related. Consider all what we see now with the expansion and development in the cities. The city that I live in, or near Eau Claire, for instance, it's apartment buildings that are the great development. So it's becoming the norm to just rent and rent and rent and keep putting your money into rent. And that's not the way it used to be. It used to be a down payment and then your own home. That was the dream.
Well, in the dream, and Jeff, do you have time for another segment with us?
Sure, I can do that.
Excellent. And the dream was, generational wealth. I mean, you have your house, that's where you're putting all your money in. And what you do after that is you give it to your kids and, give them a better life. And those things are no longer there for many, many reasons now, like they were when I was young. And I hate to bring that up when I was young, but we can do better, right, Jeff?
We can. Long-term care is eating up everyone's assets.
We'll be right back. This is Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake.
Navigating COVID while protecting yourself can be difficult. Fortunately, there's a hotline you can call with any questions. The Department of Indian Works St. Paul partnered with the Minnesota Department of Health to open the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline. They provide information on vaccines, booster shots, and testing sites. Right now, booster shots are available to anyone over the age of 18 for those who are eligible. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline can also help with housing, food, medical, and educational support. If you or someone you know has questions about COVID-19, vaccinations, booster shots, or testing, please call 651-304-9986. Again, the number is 651-304-9986. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline is open for calls Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline at 651-304-9986.
Children's Minnesota raises up children's health by raising the standards, hands, voices, the bar, the stakes, the questions, and the curtain on raising kids' health to the highest priority. With the most pediatric experts in the upper Midwest, we're setting the stage because kids need us, all of us. So let's raise them up so every kid can reach their best health. Children's Minnesota, the kid experts.
Hi, Minnesota. This is David Packman, and you can catch my show weekdays at 2 p.m. for the latest in political news on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
It's an absolute must for any true foodie. Vinaigrette at 50th and Xerxes in South Minneapolis offers premium oils and vinegars for the most discriminating of tastes. This is Sarah Piepenberg, owner of Vinaigrette. We bottle on-site, there's no guesswork, and you get to taste test each and every oil and vinegar we offer. Our direct relationship with the growers ensures an uncompromised level of satisfaction. When you need to know you're cooking with the finest ingredients, first contact the independently owned Vinaigrette, 50th and Xerxes in South Minneapolis. Online at vinaigrettemn.com.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950 for Snap Construction again. Does your home feel colder than it should with the furnace constantly running? Or do certain rooms always feel colder than the rest of the house? Those are signs the attic in your home may need an insulation upgrade. Snap Construction can help by providing a free energy audit for your home's insulation. The average cost of getting new insulation can cost much less than a new furnace. Plus, Snap Construction is a BPI certified installer. That means if you use Snap for your next insulation project, you qualify for up to $650 in total rebates from your energy provider. After my free inspection, my insulation upgrade was completed within a few weeks and the rebate check was in the mail. Snap to it and reduce your heating bill this winter with Snap Construction. Call 612-333-SNAP. That's 612-333-SNAP for your free energy audit when you mention AM 950. Snap Construction, arguably the most well-reviewed exterior contractor and insulation company in the metro.
We use technology every day to help manage our lives. Why not use it to help manage your medications? St. Paul Corner Drug offers several free tools to keep you on track while taking your medications. Use our mobile app to quickly order a refill, or the Meds on Q application, which turns your smartphone or tablet into your very own personal medication attendant. Email and text messaging options let you know when your medication is ready for pickup, making efficient use of your time. St. Paul Corner Drug, pharmacy the way it should be.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for rain tonight with a low around 33, Thursday more rain with a high near 40, and Friday cloudy with a high around 41. Check out the award-winning Hazel's Northeast for a delicious meal any time of the day. Breakfast favorites include Jean's Mean Fried Egg Sandwich and the Drunken Banana French Toast, while for dinner, try selections like the fabulous Swedish Meatballs or Wild Rice Gumbo. Hazel's Northeast is located off 29th and Johnson and at hazelsnetogo.com.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. We're here with State Senator of Wisconsin, Jeff Smith, and we're just having a great conversation. We're catching up. We do this every couple of weeks, and it's great because we have a lot of listeners in Wisconsin. We're on Double Radio in Madison and a couple other stations. We're also in Milwaukee live here. So it's just great to see like-minded people in another state that we're broadcasting in come on in and talk about things. It's kind of a fireside chat. We're like doing this, and we really miss Wendy. Wendy's sending me directions over the phone, though. That's good. She's texting and listening, so that's good. So let's talk a little bit about. And I know I'm really interested about this, but you have a blueprint for our future, and I know I've read it, and it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and first of all, Gina, sorry you have to listen to a couple old guys rehash our history, but
oh, no worries.
Talk about the future. So the future is that in Wisconsin, we know that we have a estimated $3.8 billion surplus, and with that, we have such great opportunity to finally invest in the future. And so we've developed from my office, the Rural Development Plan is what we're calling it. And it has a lot to do with how we connect everyone with broadband. That's a big part of it. And of course, support public education. Now, the governor had a special session plan of using $1.7 billion of surplus to provide 2/3 funding for our public schools and to fix our funding formula for our public schools. And I've kind of taken that because of course, unfortunately, the majority party, which is Republican, refused to consider his plan. So I've taken that and also added the monies that we need for connecting everyone in the state of Wisconsin to broadband. And we have an estimate of anywhere from $700 million to $1.4 billion to finally connect every household in the state of Wisconsin with fiber. And that's, like I said earlier, in the earlier segment, no one is connected until everyone is connected. It's just as simple as that. So we've got to get this done. And that would push rural Wisconsin forward in such a tremendous way. If people want to continue, you mentioned generations earlier, Robert. If you want the next generation to be able to live in a beautiful part of Wisconsin or even Minnesota, right? We have this beautiful along the Mississippi River on either side. It's amazing, but people can't live there without broadband. They got to move to the city. And these days, if you can work from home or any place close to it, you can still live in the most beautiful part of the country as we see it, and live the great life, right?
Yeah, exactly. And in Minnesota here, we have like a $9 billion surplus. So there's a lot of ways to help people that hopefully they'll be able to figure out here, because I think it's a record here.
That's big. That is really big. When you have that sort of surplus, and then you have politics stand in the way of doing good things, and I heard Gina mention hemp earlier. That's huge. That is huge. We have such an opportunity, especially in this part of the country that used to be leaders in raising hemp until it became a stigma attached to it, and they banned it. So we need to get back to doing the right thing.
Exactly. I know pre-World War II, it was the cat's pajamas. And now, and it was, I don't know if it was the same thing. We had the best streetcars here in the Twin Cities that went everywhere. And then the tire companies got involved, and the oil companies, and paid off a few people. And now we have stinky buses. Now they're switching though now to electric buses, and we do have some light rail. But I mean, I don't know if that was ended in the 60s, and it's amazing that these things happen. But State Senator, can you give us your email, or not your email, your website, on how we can get out there and support your election?
Sure. Thank you for asking, Robert. My website is Together with Jeff. One word, togetherwithjeff.com. I always think it's important to be as inclusive as possible, and that's my tagline, is to be together to get things done.
That's awesome. Well, let's hope we really flip some seats there in Wisconsin, because I'm telling you, I feel like your governor has not had a chance to be governor. All he's been able to do is veto stuff and not really become a governor. And it would be good to see that happen, that he could really help out in a positive way instead of being deflective and defensive.
Yeah, that is true. I hate to say it, it's true. The veto is all we have in Wisconsin, and we've got ways to go. It's divisive politics in this country right now, and unfortunately, a lot of people are under the impressions that government is bad, and elections seem to be under attack right now too, and that is really going to be the end of democracy if people don't come to their senses about that.
Well, Jeff, before we let you go, do you have any last words of encouragement? Because I know it's really always fun to talk, and really just it's great to see a progressive in Wisconsin and talk to one and look at it, and really we have a lot in common that I'm finding out.
I feel optimistic. First of all, every time I'm on your show, Robert, I feel very optimistic that, to be honest, Native Roots is what a great name for your show, because that is what's going to bring us back, is when we realize where our roots are in this country and what we were about in the first place. I know that our Constitution and all those things were written poorly and had all these terrible parts of America but we need to acknowledge that. And when we acknowledge the worst part of ourselves, we become the best part of ourselves. And that's really makes me optimistic that there's more and more enlightenment out there. The more people fight back, by the way, the more people are interested in our past.
Wow, really good point. Thank you so much, and it's really great to touch base with you, and I just feel a lot of positivity and the great things that you're doing for your state, but also for my nation, my Ho-Chunk Nation. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate, like I said, Native Roots.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Wow, Gina, that's awesome. Really enjoy talking to state senator. I get, again, I'm trying to do so many things at once here. I sent our normal guest, our mainstay, Bob Blake from Red Lake, the wrong link, and
Oh, no.
so he's on right now, but I don't think he has his camera on. Oh, there he is. Hey, it's Bob Blake with
Hey.
Solar Bear with the Solar News.
Hey, Robert. I
Two
mean,
segments today.
it was William Randolph Hearst, right? Who had the media empire, the Hearst media
Right.
empire.
Mhm.
And what he did was he had investments in cotton. And he went and did this big campaign through his publications, through his media publications, and demonize hemp. And that was the start of trying to get rid of hemp.
Wow. Yeah, I know. I can believe it because I don't know if you remember that movie, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That was all about the busing companies and Goodyear and all those companies getting rid of their own system and selling rubber and tires that wear out. And also, remember that one movie about water in California with I can't think of the name, China syndrome. Those things have told us in a way what can happen with power, and power is not good for the people, and so Wendy wants us to howl. I don't know if you know, Wendy's still stuck in New York, Bob, and she has COVID, so she's not able to get on.
Oh, I hope she's okay. I hope is she doing okay, Robert?
Yeah, she's doing okay. She was thinking about possibly coming on today, but she wants to take another day off. So I just wanted to fill you in. She wants us to haul, but we'll wait until the next segment when you do your
Solar news.
Solar news with the Solar Bear. You got the big B bear baseball cap on.
Yeah, and let me and so while we're at it and we're talking about William Randolph Hearst and we're talking about hemp and the destruction or the campaign against it, there's a great article out right now, and I'll share it with you, Robert, but it talks about colonialism and causing climate change and talking about the IPCC report that just recently came out.
Mhm.
And it's bad news, Robert. It really is bad news, but like you were saying, that greed, that overly kind of attitude of having to be in control and it's destroying our planet, and obviously it destroyed the hemp industry, and things that were actually good for this planet, good for the environment. It destroyed it, but that's what this article talks about, and it's a really good article.
Well, let's segue into that in the next segment. And I really appreciate your patience and be able to hang on with us again. And you'll be able to howl with us too. And my dogs in the background are getting ready to howl. So, yes, practice your howling. We'll be right back with Bob Blake with the Solar Bear with the Solar News. Stay with us. Hey, Wendy, what are we doing for dinner after the show?
How about we go to J. Selby's on 169 Victoria Street in St. Paul? They have a delicious plant-based menu that's compassionate and environmentally sustainable.
I'm getting their spot-on vegan Big Mac, the dirty secret.
You can pick up and they deliver within a 5-mile radius, or you can call them at 651-222-3263 or visit jselbys.com.
Well, you sold me, Wen. Let's go order at J. Selby's tonight.
I'm hungry.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States, and 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected. Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf. Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy. As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired. Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
Hey, Ogama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
Children's Minnesota raises up children's health by raising the standards, hands, voices, the bar, the stakes, the questions, and the curtain on raising kids' health to the highest priority. With the most pediatric experts in the upper Midwest, we're setting the stage because kids need us, all of us. So let's raise them up so every kid can reach their best health. Children's Minnesota, the kid experts.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. This is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, this portion's brought to you by Hauling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations. I don't know. Some things still crack me up and put a big smile on my face. I think that last promo into the show, into this segment, and also Ogama's daughter. She says this portion's brought to you by, or you're listening to Native Roots Radio. Those kind of things just put a big smile on my face every day, no matter how many times I hear it. But hey, I'm here with Robert Blake of Solar Bear, and he's here with the solar news. And it's always a positive experience, Bob, and I really appreciate you coming on and talking what not only is possible, but what you're working on, and you're really talking futuristic stuff that's not that far in the future.
Yeah, they're doing a really cool project in Thailand, Robert, which is the first story here. They're building, they're doing, it's this thing called agrovoltaics, right? Like where they put solar on top of land that is being farmed, and 1 million farmlands to be installed with solar panels in Thailand. This is what the Thailand government is doing. I mean, that's just an incredible story that the people in Thailand are like going to do this. And what's really interesting, Robert, is in the future, I mean, we're already kind of having, problems with food production and whatnot. And what's happening is, climate change is affecting our food production. There was trillions of dollars of food that got damaged last year in China, and it's only going to get worse, Robert. So putting solar panels on top of farmlands like they're doing in Thailand is just a really smart thing, because you're going to protect the crops. But not only that, you're also going to generate energy for your community. So it's a win-win all the way.
Wow, that is awesome.
Also, too, there for the people out there that like champagne, okay, wine, France is also going to copy what Thailand is doing. They are going to put solar panels on top of their grape productions that are covering the grapes, because see, Robert, the grapes are being damaged by the heat and by the sun, and so they're going to put the solar panels on top of them to not only produce energy, but to also protect the crops too. So same thing that they're doing in Thailand, they're going to do in France now too. And so I think we're starting to see a trend, Robert, around the world. And I really do believe that the United States are going to have to jump on this bandwagon eventually too.
Well, that's good. And I know the wine industry took a heavy hit because of climate change last year.
Yeah, Robert, the wine industry took a heavy hit. The champagne industry, right? Because you can only say champagne from like France, right? They took a big hit, Robert. and so it's really bad. Climate change is really disrupting the crop production all around the world right now.
Wow. What else do you got for us? That's amazing. I think one of the things before you go on any further, is that I think part of the problem with greed is people are hoarders of money. They don't put it back into the economy, and they just have more and more and more. And so that's one big problem. I think really hoarding money.
Yes, and once again, ultimate power is ultimate corruption, right, Robert? And there is an article here too on the way that Native people have been protesting Line 3 and the DAPL, the Dakota Access Pipeline. There are governments, there are city, local, state governments around the country right now that are taking up laws, enacting laws that will penalize and up to jail for people that oppose infrastructure that is around you know that is around oil or gas or electricity, those kinds of projects. So they're looking at harsher penalties for people that protest against those, and it's geared towards Native people.
Even if them pipelines are already poisoning our waters and we got proof of it, they still want to punish those who want to protect water. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I just had to. I'm really upset about that.
Right. And I'm a child of the 60s and a teen of the 70s, and I remember what stopped the Vietnam War. It was protests. And I mean, it's our given right, and so it's very upsetting to hear even a whisper of that, Bob.
Well, let me tell you, Robert. So here's what we do, right? So how do you battle this, right? Currently, right now, there is something happening in Minnesota that we are trying to basically get passed up at the state, and Athena Hollins, Representative Athena Hollins, is taking up a bill for us that basically would allow the creation of a tribal advisory council on energy omnibus bill. So it's in the omnibus bill and tribal advisory council on energy. And if you go to page 129 of the omnibus bill, I can't even say that, Robert. Oops, sorry. Omnibus bill. You will be able to find the wording on the Tribal Advisory Council on Energy, and Athena Hollins, Representative Athena Hollins, will be taking this up. And guys, and everyone listening out there, these are the seedlings for a Tribal Utilities Commission. What we need to do is do this here in Minnesota, create the framework, and then send this out across the country of what we just did. So, Robert, I've been pushing this for 4 years. It's in the omnibus bill. Let's get this done.
Absolutely. Yeah, real good talk here. What else do you got? We got a minute left. You got another quick one to talk about?
I to be quite honest with you, I mean, I'm still trying to get over the IPCC report, Robert. It's telling us it doesn't look good, man. And we got to do everything we can. We got to throw everything up at the wall now. That's just the way it is. Native people, you're going to have to lead the way. You're going to have to push your governments. You're going to have to push your tribal governments. You're going to have to elect tribal leaders that are climate champions, because that's the way I see we're only going to get this done, because corporations are going to stand in our way, and we can't do that. And we can't let even the state and federal government get in our way, just like they're trying to redistricting and take away our power at the polls.
Well, and that's a really good point. Really good point. A way to end it is that we had 9,000 Native Americans in northern Minnesota through Joey and Nancy Bolio register 9,000 people that had never voted before and put over the election. So we always say that this election is most important, but really they all are. And this one's going to be really important just for what you said, Bob. I mean, we have to really we outnumber them, and good over evil has to really prevail. And then after we get our candidates in, then we have to put their feet on the fire and make sure they do what they said they were going to do in the first place.
Please support Athena Hollins with the Tribal Advisory Council on Energy. Let her know, call her office, tell her you support this, and you want to see this get passed in the omnibus bill. I can't say it. I'm sorry, everyone.
No, you are saying it. I think you're just double thinking that you're not. Hey, thank you so much, Robert Blake with Solar Bear with the Solar News. Hey, I would like to end with these thoughts. If you are listening to this show, you are part of the resistance. From Chief Plenty Coops, the ground on which we stand on is sacred ground. It is the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, join a group, and run for office. Peeny Gigi for State Senator Jeff Smith stopping in, Wisconsin State Senator. Always enjoy his conversation. We are still here. We are the seventh generation. Free Leonard Peltier.
Cafe Latte offers made from scratch soups, salads,